you so much for joining us. My name is Kristen Bowers. I am the Teen Program Coordinator for Girls, Inc. We will be doing a special senior highlight or spotlight on each of our amazing teens. Obviously, during this time, it is very different, so we are not able to celebrate as usual, but just want to do a quick spotlight on them. And so I have with me...
My name is Ashton Mayo-Beavers. I'm a graduating senior from Chattanooga High Center for Creative Arts, where I'm a dance major. I'll be attending Mercer University in the fall in Macon, Georgia as a computer science major, undecided minor as of right now. But yeah.
Awesome. So thank you again for coming in and talking with me for a little bit. It's been quite a few weeks since I've seen Ashton's face, so I have definitely missed her and all my other girls. But I'm extremely proud of you. I know that for all of us, this is a really different time. Probably not what you expected to finish your, senior year in quarantine. But I am so proud, and so I just want to celebrate you and honor you. So I have a few questions for you. So what is your biggest motivation to go to college?
Probably my family, mostly my grandparents and my mom. I know my mom has gone back to school maybe like 3-4 times since she's had my brother and I, and just gotten her master's in different things. So school's been a big part of my life and just like my education. And my mom and my stepdad moved to Chattanooga 2 years before I moved, so I could, and I stayed in Knoxville, and I stayed at the school I've been at for a long time, so I could finish my education. So that's been a big part of my life. It just driving point is education. So my family and I made big sacrifices just so I could get the best education. So it's mostly my family's my big driving point, just to go to school and college, and then talking about like all their stories. Yeah. I know my grandpa just talking. He's the closest. He's an civil engineering major. So awesome. Him and I, we talk about computer science and engineering, so he's a big point, just talking to him about all this college stories. So yeah.
Okay, so for our next question, what was one of the hardest things for you as a senior during this quarantine of 2020?
I think the biggest thing was just losing some of like those moments, those last capstone memories that we would have, like prom, and not even prom, but just kind of walking down the hall saying your last goodbyes to some people, even if it wasn't like your best friends. Because like even with your best friends, you can make plans to see it, but people that you've been going to school with for 4 years, but you're not going to really see again. Yeah, it's kind of like a hard thing to not be able to talk to them. I know yesterday our school planned a little parking lot party for all the seniors to like cover all the things that we're missing. Yeah. So that was a cool thing to like stand out of our windows and like wave hi to everybody while music was playing and get our awards and such. So it was a cool thing. Kind of, it was a good placement, but it didn't kind of, replace those memories that we kind of lost. I think also it was like a lot with our teachers, kind of losing some of that one-on-one contact and that preparation that we would get for college, and just those final moments leading up. It's more of kind of like this waiting game now, so we're not able to have our hand held kind of walking in. We just kind of have to figure out as we go more so I think it's a blessing somehow, because we're able to adapt, but at the same time it's kind of like, what's going on?
Of course, absolutely. I can only imagine being in your shoes back, I won't say how many years, but a while ago, of having to maneuver through that, having to kind of figure out, okay, so we are out of school, so I'm about to go into college, but you're at home. So I can definitely see how that would be a huge transition for you. So if you could tell any 9th grader any type of advice at this point, you're about to go to college, regardless of what that's going to look like, right? And hopefully, it will be actually on campus, soon enough. What would you tell a 9th grader now that you know a lot about 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th grade?
Yeah, I just say be really open to adapt and be open to anything. You can become a part of anything or any club, and you never know what it's going to be. It might not be what you think your major is going to be, or any group or anything. Like I know I was in I almost joined like a science club, and I'm not going into science or anything, but just something cool. Just try out things, because this is the one time you're not going to have any repercussions in school or money to try out anything that you want.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
It's just learn, grow from other people, and if you get that time to be in contact with people, do it. And even if you're not and you have the videos, we are in a great age of technology. As a computer science major, I can say that. So
Absolutely.
Use it as a resource. You know, there's some people who don't have that as a resource, so use it to the best of your ability.
This is definitely true. Take advantage of it, regardless. Again, like it's learning how to adapt in different and unique situations. I feel like has been across the board, whether you are a teen, whether you know, my 8-year-old child, whether you are an adult, it has been a huge transition for all of us. So
you have to get creative. That's another point.
Oh gosh,
get creative as possible.
And motivated. Those two definitely go hand in hand. Absolutely. Okay, so here's another one, which I feel like this is a very good question when it comes to your age. So what have you learned most about friendships during high school?
Well, my mom's always told me, and friendships are always great, but there's also a reason and a season for them.
That's good.
And also, you're gonna have some of your best relationships in college, but not saying that you're gonna not have some lifelong friends from elementary and high school, but you're gonna have some of your best friends in college. And like when you're entering high school, you're gonna have your groups, but also don't be so cliquish. I've learned that. Don't like hook yourself onto one person. You know, you can experiment. You can go through different types of groups. You don't have to be so dependent on a person. You have to find yourself and don't lose yourself in like trying to fit somebody else's other image. So I guess friendships, especially in this light now, like with all the distance and everything, you kind of figure out who's gonna be there for you most. And I'm not saying use this as a test, but it's kind of cool to see how your friendships and bonds can last throughout this. I know one of my friends, we're being roommates in college, hopefully if we're on campus, and we've just been really good friends, just checking up on each other. And I've got some new friendships that I wasn't even friends with in school, but now we're friends because we've just been checking up on each other and talking and FaceTiming and everything, really keeping in contact. So it's just about like anything. Don't like gravitate and like get yourself into a little niche of people. I've learned that a lot, and if a friendship ends, you've learned something from that, but you can move on and find new friends, and I've learned that a lot this year.
That's good. I love that. It's like, have you ever heard when people talk about like, if you hold your hand too tight, you won't be able to receive new things? I think it's like, you know, with friendships, as much as sometimes it may hurt to lose certain people, a lot of times it can be a huge blessing. Because other people are able to come into your life and bring something new and fresh. So I really love that.
And you learn a lot about yourself too. Just being by yourself.
You learn a lot.
And
whether it's the good or the bad.
Right. Hindsight's 20/20.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It really is. For all people, if they're willing to look into it, that's for sure. All right, so my next question. So you were selected to be on the Teen Advocacy Board. Yes. So proud of you. So what was the highlight of that experience? And what were some of the difficulties of you kind of taking on the ownership of such a board?
So right now, something really cool, we're still working on this video project for Girls Inc Week. And so it's about just like women, it's called Lead Her, like with the E. Can't really spell it on the screen, but it's coming out like end of May, and we're just like, we're talking to like a lot of youth-led movement women and all sorts of things, and just highlighting different women and everything. So it's a really cool project to like get to collaborate with people, and I find that really fascinating. What's really cool is like we were already doing Zoom calls like way before this already started, so it wasn't a changed process for us because we are already kind of in that process and in that position to do Zoom calls. So it's really cool to kind of go through this transition and see how it affected us, but it didn't really affect us. We kept on going.
That's great.
I say the difficulties, it's just balancing it. I guess since I'm very if I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna go like all the way. I'm gonna do as much as I can, and I've learned I need to start taking a back seat sometimes, but I'm not doing that. So I've been trying to remain as active in everything as possible, and I've been taking a lot more projects. So just kind of finding that balance and finding ways to use my voice in a smart way, and not be biased, but not be biased where somebody's already turned off by like the first sentence. It doesn't want to read what you have to say. So make it more inviting for both sides. And I'm learning that from a lot of different groups I've become involved with as this quarantine and virus and pandemic has continued on. Is just making sure your voice is being able to be read by both sides and not like less inviting for a side. So I think that's really important. But that's been a difficult thing to try and kind of learn and maneuver. Because you're so used to speaking your opinion and just kind of putting it out there, and not thinking about it as much. So,
okay, that's exactly why she is a teen spotlight. Okay, that's beyond phenomenal, Ashton. For you to be that age and be able to see such a perspective, that's huge. That is really huge. So that's just amazing. I'm just like, okay, girl. So proud of you. So yes, being able to see different perspectives, being able to speak on one thing, but still being able to be open, to hear other people chime in, because we all have opinions. We all have, stances that we really believe in. But being able to, I think, always come back to a table and be able to sit down with people and being able to listen to both sides is extremely important, and I don't think it's done enough. So that's why we have amazing teens that are about to grow up into beautiful young women who are going to be able to bring that boldness and that love for other people and their viewpoints into our society. So that is absolutely amazing. So throughout Girls Inc, you've been here for quite a few years. You're one of our patrons, our veterans. You have seen I think you've seen the whole mentor and the mentee role, in various ways throughout Girls Inc. So do you believe that is important, and do you see yourself doing that later on in life, or even now?
I think it's very important. I know my mentor now, she'll check up on me, and it's kind of like, just like this breath of fresh air because you're quarantined with the same people. So just getting to talk to somebody, or even an adult who is not in your immediate family or is not in your circumstance or part of your circumstance, but outside of it and can give you outside advice is really important. I think, through my time, she really helped me. And I see that too, you can do that when you're older, but I'm trying to do it with some of my classmates now, some of my dance major little babies that I love so much, and they're going through a rough time because, as a dance and as a creative artsy school, we're not having that outlet as we used to. So just kind of having those talks with people that, and checking up on people who might not have somebody to talk to, I think it's important. But mentorship in general, through Girls Inc, we've had that a lot and had those opportunities a lot, and just to get to network and everything, which is really cool. And I think it's really important to get to talk to as many as people as possible.
Absolutely. That's awesome. All right, so I have one more and then we are done. So lastly, if you could tell, let's just say, 6-year-old self, right? You want to do anything. You have so many dreams. You got so many desires that you want to do later on in life, okay? You're now a senior, about to go into the big world eventually when quarantine is over, okay? What would you tell yourself at this point? What would be that staple statement? Doesn't really make sense, but what would be that main statement that you would tell your younger self?
That's funny, because when I was that young, I was like, I'm gonna be a fashion designer. That was a whole.
I think I think a lot of little girls wanted to be a fashion designer.
Yeah.
So I know I did.
Making blanket dresses.
Yes.
But I think just to never stop dreaming. Because honestly, if I didn't pursue my dream to be a fashion designer and kind of go through with that, I wouldn't be where I'm in trying to go to computer science and found my way to it. And how I like STEM, but I wanted to try to incorporate STEAM more with arts and education and science and technology and engineering, math. I think it's just important just to kind of explore every outlet and possibility, and not limit yourself to what society and their circumstances and the outline of the box that they have for you, like especially as women and as women of color, you know, you don't want to fit into the box. Just explore every possible thing, because there's, like, as I said, there's no repercussions when you're younger and you're growing up. I mean, there's some repercussions, but like to explore as many outlets as possible until it costs money to do it.
And that's very smart. That's very smart. I love that. You said something about the expectation of others. I think even as adults, we can get caught up in the expectation of what maybe other people think about us, or the expectation that, you know, maybe even our family has for us, and kind of just recognizing like what that is, you know, in the long run. Being able to kind of own, you know, what you want to do while you're growing up, liking those sports and liking those things or those clubs, and then kind of taking it on later. You're kind of able to kind of get that broader perspective of, okay, I know I like this, this, and this. Those things really didn't work, so I'm going to kind of veer to the left. So I am just so proud of you. I am just floored, and I'm honored that I was able to spend this last year. You were an amazing young woman, and I am extremely proud that I was able to just spend this little bit of time with you. So thank you so much for sitting down with me. Thank you for taking the time, getting off work. I'm not mean to cry. I'm just extremely, extremely proud, and you are going to do amazing, amazing things. So thank you again for sitting down with me, and thank you for joining us for our Teen Senior Spotlight.